You are about to buy tires. The salesperson slides two options across the counter. One is $180 per tire. One is $80 per tire. Same size, same speed rating, same load index. He tells you the cheaper ones are just as good. Here is what he does not tell you. In independent testing conducted by ADAC, Germany's largest automobile club and one of the most credible tire testing organizations in the world, a budget tire brought to an emergency stop from 80 km per hour required nearly 60 meters to stop. The premium tire stopped in 34.4 meters. The budget tire was still traveling at 52 km per hour when it crossed the point where the premium tire had already stopped completely. Not a small difference. Not a marketing difference. A physics difference. A whether you hit the car in front of you difference. Measured on a real road in controlled conditions by independent engineers with no financial interest in the result. Today I'm showing you exactly what you are paying for when you choose a premium tire, what the ownership structure of the tire industry means for the budget brands sitting next to the premium ones on the same shelf, and the single question that stops a tire salesperson cold. The one question that separates a salesperson who knows the answer from one who is hoping you never ask it. Understand the ownership structure of the tire industry first. Because the name on the sidewall is not always the story the salesperson is telling you. Firestone, an American brand founded in 1900 in Akron, Ohio. Harvey Firestone was a personal friend of Henry Ford and Thomas Edison. As American as any brand in automotive history. Bridgestone, the Japanese company, acquired Firestone in 1988. Firestone is a Bridgestone product manufactured under Bridgestone's oversight, sold through Bridgestone's distribution network, and priced below Bridgestone's flagship products in every market it competes in. BFGoodrich, the rugged American brand on off-road trucks and Baja race vehicles. Michelin, the French company, acquired BFGoodrich in 1989. Uniroyal, which has been on American roads since 1892, is also owned by Michelin in North America. General Tire, selling tires in the United States since 1915. Continental AG, the German company, acquired them in 1987. Dayton Tires, budget-priced, sold at discount retailers, frequently the cheapest option on the shelf. Parent company, Bridgestone. The same corporate family as the premium Bridgestone flagship products sitting at the top of the price rack in the same store. Fusion Tires, one of the most frequently discounted brands at Walmart and big box retailers. Also Bridgestone Americas. The bottom of the price rack and the top of it in the same store can trace back to the exact same parent company. Which raises the question every driver should be asking before they authorize a single tire purchase. Does the same parent company mean the same tire? The answer is no. And understanding why is the most important thing I am going to show you today. Stay right here, because the next section contains the specific test data that exposes the wet braking gap between premium and budget tires in meters on a real road. This is not marketing material. This is independent engineering data. And once you see the numbers, you will never look at a tire price difference the same way again. Do not skip ahead. When Michelin manufactures a Michelin flagship tire and a Riken tire, Riken being a Michelin-owned budget sub-brand, they are not manufacturing the same tire with two different labels applied at the end of the production line. Michelin's flagship tire compounds are developed with hundreds of millions of dollars in proprietary silica blending research, compound formulation programs, and testing cycles that run for years before a single consumer tire reaches a shelf. The wet grip performance that results from that investment is documented in independent test results and is measurable in meters at emergency braking speeds. Their budget sub-brands use older compound formulations, simpler internal construction, and development cycles that do not receive the same engineering investment. The parent company is identical. The compound chemistry is not. And on a wet road at 80 km per hour, the difference between compound chemistries is not an abstract engineering detail. It is a stopping distance that either keeps you out of the vehicle in front of you or does not. The 2023 ADAC Summer Tire Test measured a VW Golf 8 fitted with a budget Asian tire against the Continental Premium Contact 6 in an emergency stop from 80 km per hour. Continental stopped in 34.4 meters. The budget tire stopped in 59.6 meters. ADAC described the result as perilous. Their specific finding was that the Golf fitted with the budget tire would have collided with the already stationary Continental-equipped vehicle at a residual speed of 52 km per hour. Not a low-speed contact. A 52 km/h rear collision on a road where the driver believed the emergency stop had been executed correctly. Point S, the world's largest independent tire dealer network, commissioned independent testing in October 2023 using a VW Golf GTD across 11 tires in 3 price tiers. Testing was conducted by TVSD, one of Europe's most credible independent product testing organizations. The results showed budget tires required 4.47 meters of additional stopping distance compared to premium tires in wet braking from 80 km/h. 4.47 meters is the length of a full-size SUV. The vehicle was still moving at emergency braking speed when it crossed the point where the premium tire had already come to a complete stop. Every single test run. Not once. Every time. The 2024 ADAC Summer Tire Test measured an 18.8% wet braking performance gap between the best and worst performing tire in the test field. 18.8%. Measured in meters. On real roads at real speeds in conditions that replicate the emergency scenario that determines whether a near miss becomes a collision. Stay right here, because the next section covers the part of the story that the premium brands do not advertise and the budget advocates do not admit. The gap between premium and mid-tier tires is significantly smaller than the gap between premium and true budget. And 2 specific mid-tier results from the 2024 ADAC test will change how you think about the middle of the price rack permanently. Do not leave before you hear this. The 2024 ADAC Summer Tire Test showed that mid-tier brands like Kumho and Hankook performed competitively with premium options across multiple test categories. Kumho won the treadwear category in the 2024 ADAC Summer Test, beating Michelin, Continental, and Goodyear for tire longevity in independent testing conducted by one of the most rigorous testing organizations in the automotive world. Not a premium brand. Not a budget gamble. A well-engineered mid-tier product that beat the most recognized names in the industry in the category that determines how long your tires last. Linglong, the Chinese manufacturer found in the budget section of most retailers, won the external road noise category in that same 2024 ADAC test. Ahead of Michelin. Ahead of Continental. Ahead of every premium brand in the test field. The picture that emerges from independent test data across multiple years and multiple organizations is this. At the top of the market, the premium brands, Michelin, Continental, Bridgestone flagship products, Goodyear top tier, earn their price through compound engineering and wet braking performance that independent testing consistently validates. The ADAC and TVSD data is not generated by tire company marketing departments. It is generated by independent engineers who test what the tire actually does on a wet road at the moment that actually matters. In the middle of the market, the performance gap between premium and mid-tier has narrowed dramatically over the past decade. Brands like Kumho, Hankook, and Yokohama deliver competitive performance at prices significantly below the premium tier, and independent test results support that conclusion with specific numbers in specific categories. At the bottom of the market, the true no-name budget products, the ADAC data is unambiguous. The wet braking gap is not a logo difference. It is a compound chemistry difference that produces a physics outcome, a car still moving at 52 km/h when it should have already stopped, that no amount of price saving justifies. And here is what the name on the sidewall does not tell you. Churchill tires, sold as a budget brand, are manufactured in Siloan factories. Private label tires sold under retailer names at Discount Tire, Costco, and big box stores are frequently produced by established manufacturers under contract using compound formulations close to their branded equivalents. The logo on the sidewall is the beginning of the research. It is not the conclusion of it. What tells you more than any brand name is the ADAC test result for that specific tire model, the tire rack survey data for that specific product, and the independent test tier that specific tire was placed in by engineers who have no financial interest in which tire wins. And finally, the one question that stops a tire salesperson cold. Before authorizing any tire purchase, ask the salesperson for the UTQG treadwear rating and the ADAC or tire rack independent test score for each option they are presenting. The UTQG treadwear rating is a standardized government rating that appears on every tire sold in the United States. It tells you how long the manufacturer expects the tire to last relative to a government standard reference tire. A rating of 500 lasts approximately twice as long as a rating of 250 under identical conditions. The ADAC and tire rack test scores tell you how that tire performed against comparable products in independent emergency braking, wet handling, and aquaplaning tests conducted by organizations with no commercial relationship with the tire manufacturers. A salesperson who knows both numbers will give them to you immediately. A salesperson who goes quiet when you ask is giving you the most useful answer they will ever provide. They know the numbers do not support the recommendation they were about to make. The tire brand on the sidewall is worth researching. It is not worth trusting blindly. The name tells you who made it. The test data tells you what it does at 80 km per hour on a wet road at the moment that determines whether you stop before the vehicle in front of you or not. Those are not the same information. And the distance between them, measured in meters on a real road, is not small. If this just changed how you will approach the next tire purchase, hit like right now, share this with every driver you know, and subscribe so you never miss what comes next. Drop a comment and tell me what country you are watching from. I read every single one.